You know those times in life when you're in struggle mode? Those moments when things feel so hard and heavy, and no matter how tirelessly you try and how much you want something to change, it just won't. Well, we get into struggle mode when we're fighting what is. We're bargaining with acceptance, and we're refusing to let go of the outcome that we're desperate for. We're fighting with everything in us. And set in our minds so clearly is what we believe will make us happy, or what we believe we deserve. And we try to force it to happen according to our picture. And when it doesn't, we feel angry, and we feel frustrated, and we feel resentful. And being in struggle mode is not only frustrating, but it's exhausting. I was there recently, and I was reminded quickly of just how exhausting and frustrating it really is. After battling in struggle mode for several days, I was reaching the end of my rope finally. And unable to see my way out of the struggle, I cried out to God in desperation. I actually kind of pitched a temper tantrum like I do sometimes. And I said, God, this isn't fair. You're not there for me. You're not taking care of me. I can't keep doing this all myself without you helping. I'm exhausted, and I don't understand what I'm not seeing or what I'm not doing. But you've got to show up, and you've got to show me so that I can do something different. And I just need your help. And as I began to relinquish just a little of the fight, I realized how hard I had been trying to force my will on the situation, and how I just so badly wanted to be free from the struggle. I craved to feel the peace that had escaped me during the battle. Isn't it crazy how we can be peaceful one minute, and the minute we start to battle, we start to get into that struggle, the peace just disappears so quickly? But when I relented a little bit more in that moment, I became aware that what I was experiencing was not from God. And soon I recognized that I was allowing the heaviness of the things that are opposite of God's peace to control and to rob me. And finally, when I'd had enough, I surrendered fully to the struggle, and I invited peace and love in. The shift took a few minutes to happen, and it continued over the next few hours. But in that moment, as I sat in stillness, I breathed in God's peace. I chose it. I received it. And as I invited His peace in, I felt the stress and the tension in my body release, and a calm presence come over me. You know that feeling? It's wonderful. Simultaneously, a beautiful song began playing in the headphones that I was wearing, and I heard these words. It said, "Take a moment to remember who God is and who I am. There you go, lifting my load again. No longer am I held by the yoke of this world. Come upon the yoke of Jesus. His yoke is so easy, and His burden is so light." And as the truth of those lyrics of that song resonated in my spirit, I felt God whisper to me. He said, "Con, you've been carrying a load, a heavy burden that is not yours to carry, trying to force something to happen that isn't for me. The life that I've called you into is not stressful or burdensome. The heaviness that you feel, that you've picked up, is the yoke of the world. And you're not trusting me with your heart or your story. Give it back to me. Let me have it, and I'll take care of you. I want more for you than you can even begin to believe, dream, or imagine for yourself. And you can trust me." In that moment, I felt a peace and a freedom I hadn't felt in days. A freedom and peace that I will never find in struggle. Are you in the struggle right now? Does life feel hard and heavy because you're not trusting that God will come through for you, so you're lifting His load once again? Are you weary? Are you desperate for freedom from that struggle? Have you had enough? Well, when we get to the point that we have had enough, there's only one way out of the struggle. We have to stop fighting, and we have to stop resisting. We stop engaging in the struggle. And then we can take a few deep breaths and unload the burden to Him. And we can even close our eyes and visualize leaving that burden at His feet. And then we can remember who God really is and how much He loves you and the power that He has to move mountains for you and how many times He's done that for you. Recall His blessings and His favor that are evident in your life. Reclaim your seat at His table right next to Him and your inheritance as His beloved child. Oh, how He loves us. God's peace and His provision are present and abundant. He doesn't let us go without what we need. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. His promises always, always prevail. And our freedom is waiting.